welcome back to my channel. Hey! So, we're gonna talk today about an experience that I had as a child that was so absolutely crazy, radical, and insane, and just wacky and freaking kind of actually scary. Mostly scary, guys. It's gonna be scary, but I need to tell this story because I've realized a lot of things about this story as I got older that kind of disturbed me. I am wearing my glasses today. They are obviously not prescription. They are fake from AliExpress. But they are the Bayonetta, Princess Jellyfish, Office Siren, Super Nanny. Yeah, yeah. Super Nanny. Slay Cunt Queen glasses. I got these. I got like 3 pairs now, but these are the best ones because they're red, which is one of the best colors. But so I'm gonna get into this story, and in order for this story to make the absolute most sense to you guys, I have to give you some context in which I was brought into existence and exist. Not me with the Kamala Harris. I'm giving you the Kamala Harris treatment, but honestly, the context in which I exist only exists because of this person. And the person I'm going to be speaking about today is my grandmother. My granny was what I called her. My maternal grandmother. So, we're going to get into this story now, but I will give you the context of my grandmother. So, my grandmother was literally one of the coolest bitches to ever exist on this planet. She was so dope. She was so freaking cool and authentic. And that's really one thing about her personality that everyone agreed upon and was just objectively true. She was so authentic of a person, which I admired the fuck out of. I thought that was such a cool trait to have. So I loved my grandma. She's not with me anymore, but she was super sick, dope, and I wish I could have talked to her more, to be honest. But to understand the context of this story, you have to understand her and who she really was as a person and her experiences and circumstances. So my grandmother, she grew up in rural America, rural Tennessee, to be exact. And she was born into, I believe, the silent generation. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was the silent generation. Her family were immigrants from Ireland, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong. Hey, I could be wrong. The ancestry, honestly, on my mom's side is super confusing for me. I don't know what is which, but anyways, they were immigrated from somewhere in Europe. And she grew up on kind of like a farm, but not exactly. Kind of like a farm. That's the best way I can say it. And she was working. Child labor was definitely not outlawed at that time. She had been working her whole life, started smoking a pack of cigs at 5 years old. That is literally a crazy age to start smoking. But it's real, bro. It's real. And so that's her upbringing, and she actually did not finish she finished the 4th grade, and she did not finish any schooling after that. She was a very hard worker. She eventually started working at a nursing home, and then she got to a point where she started renting out property to people. She became like a mini landlord in rural mid-Tennessee. So that was really cool, and I was just like, that's a really inspiring story, because, you know, that's not easy at all. But that's what she did. She had a few properties. I would say 3 or 4. I was a kid during this time, so I can't be exactly exact, but this is a story from my childhood, so I would like to give you the context in which what I know to be true, and from my experience of my grandma. I did love my grandma a lot. I do want to preface that before telling this story as well. So my grandma, my granny. So my grandma, where's the story going? Oh yeah, she was a little landlord. She was short, but she was a landlord, not a little landlord. And she had a few tenants over the years. And when I was about 9 or 10 years old, mind you, I didn't live permanently in America, but I did go to the 4th grade the last year of middle school and my junior and senior year of high school in America, and I had to repeat my junior year, so technically it was my second junior year. So I was also kind of a super senior, which sucked, but that's besides the point. When I was in elementary school, I was there when I was like 9 or 10 years old during the 4th grade, living with my grandma and my mom and my family. So she had this one tenant, which was this old man, and he lived in this little brick house that's next to my grandma's main house. It's a little brick house. I don't know if it sometimes has electricity and sometimes doesn't. It's quite cold in there. It's not the most comfortable. It's literally like a cave once you go into that house. Many people have lived in it before, so this was not her first tenant there. But he had said, I need somewhere to live. She was like, okay, I got a place. And it was literally in our garage area of our house. Like, the garage is right here. The little brick house is right there, and there's our house. You know what I mean? So it's not that far from our house at all. And this old man was going to live there. He was like in his 50s, 60s. And that man, he had a talent. And I'll tell you what that talent is. It intrigued me deeply when I was a child because of my confused identity being an Egyptian Southern girl. But so he played the banjo, and I really wanted to learn how to play the banjo. I just had to learn how to play the fucking banjo for some strange, odd reason. Okay? So I had to learn how to play the banjo. So when I found out he could play the banjo, I was struck. I was like, yep, he's going to teach me how to play the banjo. I am the most country girl. I am Hannah Montana herself. Hannah Montana herself. That's me. Miley. I'm Miley from Tennessee. That was the complex I had as a child. But, pop star by day, country girl by night. Okay, but, what was I saying? Yeah, so I needed to learn how to play the banjo. So I started trying to go to his house, like, randomly throughout the day as I was playing outside. I would be like, I gotta go to this guy's house. He lives right there. He can teach me how to play the banjo right fucking now. Right now. At this very moment in time. So I was like, bet, let's play the banjo. So I go into his house a few times, being taught how to learn the banjo. And I go to my mom and I tell her about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm learning the banjo. And she says to me, I am 9 years old or 10 at this point, right? She says to me, you don't go to his house alone. You're going to end up like those boys with John Wayne Gacy. And he's going to kill you and he's going to bury you in his front yard or backyard. What? So I'm confused because who the fuck is John Wayne the Gacy? You know, who's that guy? And not only that, what do you mean he's chopping boys up and putting them in his yard? I was confused. I was like, how's he gonna do that to me? Why would he do that to me? You know what I mean? So that was a strange thing that my mother said to me, but she didn't like actually stop me from going over there. I would still go over there, and all my memories are me sitting in a chair and an older man coming up behind me showing me how to play the banjo by putting his arms around me. So that actually makes me feel a little sick, y'all. I might have to take a break. I hope not. I don't know if anything occurred, to be honest. Something could have, and there's nothing I can do about that. It is what it is. But it will make more sense once I get to the climax of this story. But I do think something strange happened because I blacked out the memories after that. I don't have any memory after that. It's very hazy. It makes me feel weird talking about it, but it's true. And it's something that I've realized recently. And it's kind of strange. It's a strange feeling. But besides that, we're going to head on to what happened next. After all those very evocative banjo lessons that I was given, we had a front porch. I had a nice porch swing. This was like the final boss house. Even though when I met my partner, he literally said, oh my God, bitch, you live like this? But for my family, that was literally the final boss house. Like, that was the best house. It wasn't, though. It was really bad. We had mice. goddamn, I was living in my grandpa's old room. Grandpa is a whole story for another day. Wow, I don't even want to get into it right now. It's bad. But anyways, the carpet had not been changed since probably 1978. So it was really musty in there, and that was my bedroom, and I wanted like a cute girly bedroom, and I couldn't have that aesthetic bedroom at all, which I know is like a privileged thing to say, but guys, when I became an adult, I realized I can just customize my room however I want. Why aren't we allowed to do that? It's not expensive, by the way. It's not that expensive. It's really not that. It's not that hard. Like my shit, I've never been able to have that teenage bedroom. So I feel like now I'm living it out, and I still don't have that much stuff. I just have clutter and shit. And so I'm trying to like get more stuff. Like for instance, I got like a Nendoroid, which I've always wanted since middle school. This is my Nendoroid. Isn't that cool as fuck? So yeah, I've always wanted one of those like American teenage bedrooms, and I used to be so jealous of people who had them. I dated a girl once because I went to go to prom for the third time in my life. So I dated this one girl. Nothing happened between us. It was strange. It was strange. Nothing happened between us, but where's I going with that? Oh, yeah. She had a very cool teenage bedroom. Her mom had a craft room. Her sister had like 5 hamsters and like cute, cool shit everywhere. And I was like, damn it. These bitches are living like Lizzie motherfucking McGuire. And I'm living like Cinderella with the rats. Cinderella and Annie Oakley combined. What is this shit? Why am I eating a Little Debbie's pastry for breakfast? And why am I eating on paper plates? You don't have to do that, y'all. You can do things affordably without doing that. It's possible. It's very possible. That's what I've done. But besides the point, so that was our final boss house. It was a nice house for us. We had that beautiful porch swing. I have so many good memories in that. The house is not all bad. It just had like some flooding issues. But besides that, you know, it's not all that bad, especially for the country. So I really loved that porch. But one of my memories on that porch is that old tenant coming up on the stairs to the porch and saying, coming up to the porch and like this, and yelling my name. So I go out, and me and my mom are named after each other. So she also comes out. And I'm just standing there like, and bro is just like, so I'm standing there, and bro is literally like on the steps, kneeled on his knee with a box presented in front of my 9-year-old self. A box, right? And he opens the box and he says, "Your name, will you marry me?" To a 9-year-old girl, this man is in his 50s to 60s, and my mother is standing right behind me. He's presented me with a real engagement ring. I am 9 years old. So that was a shock. I almost said yes, which was the craziest part. Like, I think I really just hated my family situation so much that I wanted to live with the banjo man at 9 years old. But yeah, dude, it's really crazy how that happened. And then, so because of that, obviously, my grandma had to evict him. He had to find somewhere else to live. Because who knows what even transpired between me and that man, because a few months later I got a gray hair at 10 years old. So who knows what the hell even really happened that I've repressed. I don't know. All I know is I was proposed to, and I learned the banjo supposedly. But that is the story of the banjo man. And there's a lot of other things I could talk about, but I think for today, that's all I can stomach telling you. That's all I can stomach letting out of my mind. But I hope you enjoyed my story time, and I'll see you later.